fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operation to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger.
2 weeks ago marked the 4th-year anniversary when, March 19, 2003, the United States launched its invasion against Iraq.
The political reasons for going to Iraq were that we considered Saddam a threat to humanity because the weaponry that was in his possession.
Jessica Lynch recovered by U.S. forces. What the Pentagon framed as a heroic rescue was later revealed to have been staged.
The day that Saddam's statue was toppled was a very important and meaningful day for most Iraqis. George Bush landed on an aircraft carrier saying, "My fellow Americans, major combat operations in Iraq have ended."
When we first went to the war and Bush landed on that aircraft carrier and said the war was over, he had an opportunity at that point to get the world involved with Iraq, and I don't think he took advantage of that. He just kept the United States involved in it, and I think that would have been the big turning point. From that point on, it's been a downhill battle for us.
Bush lets America know that we have found weapons of mass destruction. Saddam's sons, Uday and Qusay, are killed in a U.S. raid in Mosul. Attack on the United Nations headquarters in Baghdad, where the UN representative in Iraq and at least 16 others died, where 100 people were also wounded.
As you look back on it, you question whether or not we should have gone. At the time, a majority of Americans felt like it was the thing to do. We had experienced 9/11. We were sold on the idea that they posed a threat because we believed they had weapons of mass destruction.
And to a counselor, each one of us knew it was the wrong thing to do. And we were really lucky that chemical warfare was not part of this war in the first movements.
Well, if the Democrats have their way, we'll be out of there. If the Republicans have their way, those who support Bush will be there for a while.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Saddam is captured. 500 U.S. soldiers are dead in Iraq since the invasion.
The idea that we can impose democracy on someone, whether they like it or not, is strange. The idea that we can control people that we don't even identify with or understand and persuade them to take on democracy is ludicrous. No, shouldn't have gone. Shouldn't be there.
Up to this point, the deadliest month in Iraq, where 135 U.S. service members lost their lives, also marking the death toll reaching 1,000. The Dulfer report comes out saying Iraq did not have weapons of mass destruction. President George W. Bush wins re-election for his second term in office.
Every GI that I talk to, and some of them are former students of mine, believe that what they're doing in Iraq has meaning. Because we don't see what the average person's life is like in Iraq and how they relate to some of our GIs.
The United States loses track of nearly $9 billion, which the CPA provided less than adequate controls. For the first time in 50 years, Iraq held legislative elections for a 275-member Iraqi National Assembly who will write a new and permanent constitution for Iraq. American military death toll reaches 2,000. President Bush admits that much of the intelligence for the war turned out to be wrong.
They call it a civil war, the same kind of civil war that took place in Vietnam. And it's a war that goes back generations, and it's not about to end.
And the United States is not being fair and equitable with all the countries in that part of the world. So there is a tremendous and likely anger toward our country. And until we reach and move for justice, we're going to continue to be attacked by extremists. And moderate Arabs are going to listen to the extremists because we're not listening to them. We're not listening to the moderate Arabs. So extreme measures will be taken.
1,666 car bombs explode alone in the month of July. Iraqi citizens vote to ratify their newly written constitution. Electricity levels in Baghdad at a lowest since U.S. invasion, where Iraqis only receive 2.4 hours of electricity per month compared to their 24-hour supply before the war started. Saddam sentenced to death by hanging for the 1982 killings of 148 Shiites. Dictator Saddam Hussein was hanged.
It's going to take us a long time to recover from the position we've created. We're hated in the world. We're the big bully now. No one attacked us. No one from Iraq attacked us, and the whole world knows it. So we're going to suffer for this for a long time until we prove that we're more worthy to be the leader of the free world.
Iraq's military reported a significant reduction of violence a month after launching a coalition crackdown in the war-wrecked capital, involving 80,000 U.S. and Iraqi soldiers. The overall deaths have been cut in half since the crackdown began.